dissertation research. Hello everyone, thanks so much for tuning into my channel this week. Now, before I move any further, before I move into anything else, you know exactly what I'm going to do. If you have not already done so, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please be sure to click like. And if you would like to get updates anytime I post new content, please be sure to bell me wherever the bell is. I don't know. I should know which side it's on. I don't. And also, I pre-apologize for this echo. I removed the rugs from my this room that I'm in, and now it's like super echoey in here. So I just gotta work on that. So if you would like to read the blog for this particular video, you can check that out on my website at www.shikahenley.com. So you can go ahead and stay tuned, and we can start talking about this week's topic. Okay, everyone. So this week's topic, I've started it off as I finished my coursework. Now what? So it's kind of like that road to the dissertation. It's happening. It's a real thing. And so I actually took a picture initially, like after I finished all my coursework, and I'm posting it because I looked so excited. I looked at this picture recently. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so super excited. And now that I am in week 5 of my research course, and not that I'm not excited, but the fear has set in, and the realization that I'm really at this point has set in. So what I decided to do was to just create a video for those of us who have kind of finished our coursework. We've done all that work, we put in the work, and now we're transitioning to that point where we know the comps are coming soon. You're gonna have to do a proposal for your dissertation. Like, all these things are happening, and you're in that course that's preparing you to do all of those things. So I just want you to stay tuned. I have about 6 things that I'm starting to do to prepare myself for the next phase in this particular process, which is comps, dissertation proposal, actually getting that dissertation ready. So just stay tuned for those things. Okay, so number one is actually something it's been stated to me a few times, but number one is kind of realizing you know stuff. Okay, you've been taking courses, like I've been taking courses for 2.5 years. I have taken courses on all kinds of information that's related to my topic. I've read so many studies, I've learned about so many different theories, I've just learned so much information that you kind of forget you know information. And so it's like, as I move forward in this next step, in this next part of the process, and I'm going through assignments, I'm just like, I don't know, where do I start? And so my friend just kind of had to tell me, you know this stuff already, right? Go back to your coursework and start pulling all of it out. You've read this stuff already. You can find a theory. You took 3 classes on different theories. What do you mean you can't find a theory? So it's just that realization that you do have the content knowledge. You know all this information, and just understanding that the dissertation process is more of trying to see how much you can critically think about something, how you can actually go through a research process, and you can own that, and you can respond to that work. So it's like, oh, I know stuff. I know lots of stuff. Awesome. Okay, so number 2 is you need to approach this coursework with a different level of seriousness and interest. And it's not to say that I did not approach any other work with seriousness or disinterest, but it's in knowing that everything that you do for this course is going to inevitably is really feeding into your next steps. So if you don't, if you wait until the last minute to just say, oh, okay, cool, I needed to do this assignment, I knocked it out, I'm a winner, it's gonna come back at you. So it's just like, okay, you know what? If you have to do, like we just had to do an annotated bibliography that was just due this past Sunday. And so I really did spend a lot of time like really kind of combing through research, because it's related to the topic that I really want my dissertation to be about. Like I was like, okay, let me make sure these are sources that I can reuse. Like this is legitimately information that's going to really help me move to the next step. So as you're in these courses, you're preparing for your comps, you're preparing for the dissertation proposal, the actual dissertation, you need to make sure you approach it like, okay, this information, I'm going to use this, so let me make sure I, do the best I can to lay a good foundation for myself. Okay, so number 3, you need to get that writing schedule together. And so anyone I know who's actually, written a dissertation, defended it successfully, they are now Dr. So-and-so, that's the one piece of advice they always give me. They're just like, you need to get a writing schedule. You need to set it up whatever time it's going to be, and you need to sit down and write and try to work for X hours every day, or on these days of the week, those are the hours that you work. And that's something that I'm trying to set up, because it's a difference with working on your dissertation versus working on a class. Because a class, you have specific due dates, you have a rubric, you know exactly what to do. And so you can say, I can guesstimate how much time I'm going to need. But the dissertation process is a rolling process. You're constantly reading and editing and revising and doing all these things. And you need to have a schedule set up so that you know that those edits are going to actually happen. And they're going to happen in a timely enough fashion so that you can finish and not just be like, I started the dissertation and I just couldn't finish. Like, we want to finish. We're all on this team together, right? Okay, number 4, do your dissertation research. And not like the actual research you're going to do for your study. But I'm talking about, have you looked at other people's dissertations yet? Have you looked at people how have they approached a topic that's similar to the one you want to approach? Looking at what other people's research looks like, is research that is similar to what you would like to do. And then also a thing that I've done is I've reached out, I've downloaded a book, like I've started reading How to Defend Your Dissertation, how to start, how to be successful in this process, because you really need to arm yourself, because it makes everybody anxious. I don't know anybody who's like, dissertation, got that. I don't know. I haven't met that human yet. But what I have done, I have met plenty of people who are like, prepare yourself, arm yourself, figure out what you have to do. Download the templates from your school's website so that they outline all the things you need to put in your proposal. Download those templates so you know what your comps are going to be. Just download everything. Start looking at everything, poring over it, so that you are prepared for what it's going to be, and so that you don't have to go back because it was a misstep, something you didn't do that really needed to be done. Number 5 is something I haven't had time to do because this is always scheduled at the most inconvenient times. But I'm gonna watch I'm gonna watch someone's defense. So at my school, and I don't know if your school's like this, we do virtual. You can log in virtually, and so they always send out invites, and you can just tune in. Now usually it's like Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I work a real job. I can't just kind of stop at 10:30, but now I'm kind of like, okay, let me figure out how am I going to schedule these things in, because I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. Like, some people they're on it. They started it, when they were in this program for a year, they already knew. I might be a late bloomer with this, but I need to see it. I want to know what it's going to be like, because I have to do the same thing. And again, I want to be armed. I want to be as prepared as I can possibly be, because I want to finish, and that's kind of where we all are. I want to finish, and I don't necessarily have to be on this road for 10 years, trying to get everything done. I want to know, what do I have to do so that I can get this done in a timely fashion, like not to rush myself out of it, but to also know that I'm doing the best that I can to finish and not have to take 20 years, doing it, right? Well, you can't take 20 years doing it. You can take 10, but I don't want to take 10. And number six is something that we do in our professional life, but I think it's like you kind of have to transition into that once you're moving into dissertation land. And that is being vulnerable and then being open to feedback. So as I submitted assignments in my other classes, it was just like, you looked at your rubric, you were like, you're kind of looking for that. I did these things, I should get X grade. But now I'm kind of approaching it like, I'm doing the best that I can. This is how I think I've interpreted things. I'm going to post this here, and this is like a starting point. And so whatever feedback my professor gives me, I'm like, okay, cool. This is what she said. Let me go back in and revisit this. And I'm even discussing like a lot of things, topics and ways to approach things with people that I know who have, also gone through this process. So it's just kind of owning. I know once I'm in that dissertation process, I'm really writing it, that it's going to be, I'm going to write it. Someone's going to read it, I'm going to have edits, and it's just going to be a cycle of me going through the edits, rewriting, someone reading it, giving me more edits, and just keep doing that over and over again. And I'm also trying to just build that stamina, that tenacity, and that growth mindset to know, like, okay, you're going to keep doing this, but eventually you're going to get it, and you'll be okay, and you'll be able to defend it. But just starting to prepare myself to think that way now, and to not be anxious if it's not necessarily correct the first time, knowing that it's okay, I can do it again. Okay, everyone, it is recap time. So I'm going to go ahead and give you those 6 things to consider or think about as you transition out of that coursework and into the next phase of being a doctoral student. Okay, so number 1, I always have my iPad because I love my iPad. Number 1, recognize that you know things. You know stuff, and it's okay. professors are going to ask you, oh, I need you to present X, Y, Z. And you're going to be like, oh my God, what do I do? And you're like, wait, dude, you've been taking 2.5 years of coursework. You've been reading all this stuff. You know some information. You aren't an expert on everything, but you do know enough to get by, right? Number 2, you need to approach this new research course with a different level of seriousness and recognizing that this is going to be some of the work that may really lay the groundwork for your dissertation. So if you take this seriously now, it'll probably help you later. Number 3, get that writing schedule together. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it soon. So I'm going to have to make sure I get this done because I want to finish, right? So we have to get that together. Number 4, do your dissertation research. Start looking at other people's dissertations. They're there for you to see. Look them up, peruse them, see what they have in them, see what kind of things you may want to do. Start to kind of come up with a schema of how this process should be done. Then also to pull up other books and things, resources to support you through this process. Like I said, the book that I'm reading, I posted it on my Instagram, I posted it on my LinkedIn. I found a book that was actually referenced in the article we were reading for this class, and I was like, oh my gosh, this author, she wrote this book and she co-authored it with another professor that I had. I was like, I like this guy. I like how he writes things. It's very succinct. He's to the point. This is going to be my first book. So I wound up just downloading that book to just read through to see what the heck am I up against. Number 5, if you can, try to watch someone else's defense, just so you know what to expect. And I wouldn't say if you can, I want to say do watch people's defenses to see what you're going to have to do, because everybody has to do it to get out of the program, right? And number 6 is to be vulnerable and open to that feedback that you're going to receive, because we all know, like anyone who even has heard dissertation knows, the word dissertation rather, knows that it's a cycle of edits and rewrites. And just kind of recognizing that you have to kind of build up that stamina to be able to push through that process so that you can finish. So thanks so much for tuning in this week. This week I wore a t-shirt. I never wear t-shirts. I do wear them in general, but I don't wear them for this. But this t-shirt is the She Believes She Could, So She Did shirt. And the reason I wore it is because I'm at that point in this program where you're just trying to make sure you build in your confidence and you can push through and you'll be able to finish. So if you believe you can and you know you're going to do it, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That was cheesy. Oh, that was cheesy. But I said it anyway. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. If you like this video, please be sure to click like. If you haven't done so, bell me wherever the bell is, because I don't know, I never know. And if you would like to read the blog for this particular video, because there's always a blog, you can check that out on my website at www.shikahenley.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, listening to me talk in this echoey room, and I will see you next time.